What's up, guys?
Hey, friends.
Greetings, fellas.
We have an offer for you.
We'd like to make a small deal.
We have an interesting proposition.
Get the new shiny Dota 2 ticket.
Buy the new Starladder ticket.
Support us with ticket purchases.
And we promise to show you our best.
We'll show you excellent and magnificent Dota.
We will make sure you see some amazing games.
Take the first step into the next season.
We are counting on you.
Help us make Starladder 11 awesome.
We will see you again sooner than you think.
Thank you for your support.
And your contribution will make us a little bit happier. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Starladder Season 11 America. We're here in the finals of the qualifier. There will be but one team left today, and that one team will be the team that goes to the LAN finals in Kiev coming up at the beginning of next year. Less than a month away. Very exciting. Merlini.
Who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? Well, Team Fire and Team eHug, the two that have been pretty hot to trot. Of course, Fire, previously Sneaky Nyx Assassins. But they've changed their roster so much that they went ahead and just made it a new team.
Their icon still looks the same.
Yeah, it's a fiery Sneaky Nyx Assassin, I guess. But it's TC Fluff, Mike Fogged, and Ush. Who knows if this is actually their final roster, their final form, as they say, or if they've still got some swaps up their sleeves before they settle down and start buckling into that TI circuit. But should be pretty exciting. Now, eHug, they were undefeated in the group stage, so maybe favorites on paper. We haven't really seen this Team Fire lineup except for the one series yesterday where they 2-0'd Leviathan and kind of outclassed them, it looked like, a little bit. So with it all on the line here, Merlini, who knows? The winner of this best of three will be secured in the grand finals with a one-game advantage in that best of five. So it's a pretty big deal here, this first series.
Mm-hmm. Looks like MSS will be standing in for Infinity on eHug.
Yep. The Mercenary. Are there no bets for this game?
I don't believe so.
Dota 2 Lounge does not like Starladder America this season, man. What a bummer. I don't know. I actually don't really know who the favorite is coming into this best of three.
I'd have to say Fire, just a little bit. I think their team has been around a lot longer. Like, their players on their team have a lot more experience. A few of them have been a TI, whereas eHug, I mean, they've done really well this Starladder, but still they've only been playing a couple of months now under the. I mean, they've only been eHug for a month now, maybe.
Yeah.
Before they were just Infinity +4.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I don't know. I know a lot of these guys. This will be a good one to watch. Can talk smack to my friends after they lose or win.
Good. I like that. I like the smack talk. I'm gonna have to get up and turn you up on the board because you're doing that thing where you're mumbling again, and I gotta gain you out. Take the helm, Merlini. You can do this.
10 seconds.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay. Well, looking at the draft, we have a Wisp ban out from eHug. First phase Naga ban to Ush.
Reserve time.
Does like playing that hero a lot on the side of Fire. They banned out Tide and ET, followed by a couple of the aggressive stunners with Witch Doctor and Sand King. And Fire, they have the super beefcake lineup already. Brewmaster and Centaur are already pretty darn dirty.
Yep, they've got the big boys. We have not seen. I didn't see much Centaur the past couple days since the patches hit. But
he's
Fire putting him in the high priority list.
He's not very popular, which I don't know. I still don't know why he's fallen off so much in 6.82 in particular.
I don't know either. I think the Centaur is good. Big Brad, man. He's very good against certain heroes. Still has a great gap closer with the ultimate. They will go ahead and third pick the Priestess of the Moon, though. So maybe a nice Roman support there. Is that your fogged hero?
10 seconds remaining.
So your fluff hero?
Fogged or Ush or Fluff play it. You don't really know.
5 seconds remaining.
I've seen TC play it a couple of times too, but he'll most likely be playing the Brew.
Reserve time.
The Blue Master.
All right. Well, slow and steady, as they say. Dazzle, the third pick for Team eHug. A lot of minus armor here on this Radiant side. Vengeful Spirit to start things off. A lot of scouting tools also.
Yeah, they're a little scared of the physical damage too from the PA that they banned out.
And the TB, for that matter. Yeah. Well, Elder Titan, he's already been banned out, so Dazzle not countering that potential pickup here. Ooh, all right, the Invoker from Team eHug.
Dire team pick.
They really like the Invoker. You know, I stood in for them like maybe a week ago, and it was just always talking about Invoker.
Really? That's how is every game they want to be an Invoker game, even if it's not?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why. And then they picked Invoker, and then he got like owned by this puck, and I was like, oh, really? But I'm not. Invoker's good versus Blue, though. We've seen EG do it a few times with the Quas Wex Invoker. You just cold snap him
5
constantly,
seconds remaining.
and if you have a really good Invoker player who's fast on his fingers, he can catch him right after he blinks. And then if he gets cold snap, he is
5
done
seconds
for.
remaining.
He won't be able to get his ultimate off. But that depends that you have a really good Invoker player, he's
Radiant
really quick,
team
and that the
ban.
Brew is, I wouldn't say careless, but you know, just is a little bit more aggressive than your typical Brew player. And I don't know, we haven't seen too many Quas Exhort Invokers either, so I'm definitely
10 seconds.
You know, I guess
remaining.
not. It still feels a little weird, but Quaswex has kind of
5
taken over
seconds
as
remaining.
at least in very recent history since the patch. I've seen a lot more Tornado AMPs
Reserve
than I have
time.
Sunstrikes.
I think if there is a Quas Exhort game, I think this game would be really good, though. They have, like, additional minus armor with the Forge Spirits. They have Sunstrike to follow up in Chrono, so there is a lot of stuff that they can synergize well.
Yeah. Lots of damage to dump into the Chronosphere. So Fire, they'll fourth pick the Ancient Apparition. Their second support. That's probably your fluff hero.
Dire
He's on the 5. I think Fogged is playing the 4.
I'm a little surprised eHug didn't take Ancient Apparition over to Dazzle. I think Venge AA is a really strong support duo, and there's the obvious Faceless Void plus AA ulti
10
combo.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, Void's in kind of an interesting place right now. He's just been progressively getting these micro nerfs. And
Radiant
that
team
ultimate, man,
pick.
it is a serious cooldown now. Starts at 130 and scales down to 100. I feel like these strategies that
It's
kind
still
of...
not as bad as, or it's still, I don't know. It's still okay, though.
I feel like these strategies that just revolve around team fighting with the Chronosphere are getting progressively more difficult.
They should be.
And kind of riskier in terms of if that Chrono backfires or you have a fail fish there, well, what do you fall back on? You know,
5
kind of like Death
seconds
Prophet, why she's
remaining.
fallen out of favor. Still a potent hero, but now her ultimates, every single one of them counts, you know?
Reserve
Chronosphere
time.
is just one of the most powerful ultimates in the game, though.
10
Being able to
seconds
just
remaining.
stop anyone, BKB or not, to do tons of damage.
5
and
seconds
it's
remaining.
Really, really good late game. So I actually think it slightly needs like a longer cooldown, even at
Dire
100 at
team
level
pick.
3. And then you can always get Scepter, so...
Well, that's true. You can't always get Scepter. That means you need to build damage around the field, and, well, they've got the Timbersaw now to join the Invoker. He'll be headed to the off lane. Yeah, some good damage to throw into the Chronosphere. You get behind a Timbersaw pickup.
I'm biased towards Timbersaw. I think he's a good pickup in, I don't know, 50% of games, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty common to
10
have a couple of
seconds
beefcakes and Brewmaster Centaur, two big boys that will not enjoy the
5
effects of the
seconds
Whirling Death,
remaining.
that's for sure.
Yeah, they just need a hero to burst down Brew and Centaur. If you have a Quas Wax Invoker, you don't have that much damage. Dazzle provides some damage, but you kind of need burst if you want to kill a Brewmaster. So Timbersaw fits that role. He's also good at pressuring whatever safe lane farmer that they may have, and a little surprised to see them go for the Spectre here. Oh, Mercurial fallen out of favor.
Yeah, she certainly has. The recent Diffusal change, not the biggest deal. An item that Spectre will grab sometimes, but still revolves around that Radiance Rush, getting the space and making it happen. We saw a stint for a little while where Spectres were going for Urn and sort of kind of more combative style.
It's a gross build.
We'll see what Ush likes to do. I have actually not got to cast Ush in a little
10
while.
seconds
Looking
remaining.
forward to seeing some more big Ush plays.
5 seconds remaining.
You know, the real player to watch out for, Merlini. Sumail, are you familiar with this guy?
No.
He's a destroyer of worlds. He's been playing on Root. It's disgusting. He's so
Prepare
good. He's
for
one of those like
battle.
15-year-old prodigies. Just killing people. He plays a mean storm spirit. He's like
People said that
like
about
a young
Excalibur
Blitz.
too. Come on.
Yeah, but you know, I think Steve could wreck some people. He had to go back to school, man. You know, he's just trying to finish his education. Cut the guy some slack.
Calls.
All right, here we go. Let's introduce some teams. We've got a best of 3 on our hands. This is the upper bracket finals. Winner of this best of 3 ends up in the grand finals, which is a best of 5 coming up later today with a 1-game advantage. On the side of eHug, we'll have Lust on the Shadow Priest Dazzle. He'll be joining SN on the Faceless Void and SNA on the Vengeful Spirit. They'll be in the safe lane in the mid. That means MSS will be on the Invoker. And that puts MJW here on the Timbersaw, headed to the off lane. Initial wards coming down. Dyer will ward up the pole camp. Observer down, and they've got a little sentry here hiding in the trees. Okay, Dyer side. We've got Team Fire. They used to be the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Now they're the Fiery Nyx Assassins. Fluff and Stuff, he'll be on. The Priestess of the Moon. Offlane, it'll be IX Mike here on the Big Bad Centaur. Fogged, he takes the Ancient Apparition. That puts TC mid on the Brewmaster, and safe lane it's going to be Ush.
The battle begins.
Farming away on the Spectre with some pretty cool looking cosmetics here. The Horn of the Malicious Efflorescence. Watch out, dude.
No soul diffuser though.
He does not have a soul diffuser. But he has Heroic Robes of Malicious Efflorescence. I'm not sure what that means, but probably darkness. Huh?
I have no idea.
Dark fluorescence? I don't know. what is F? I don't know what prefix that is. So Invoker, ooh, he's going for the Exort. So there you go. You were talking about this is probably a good game for it, and Brewmaster going to have to deal with that in the mid lane. Meanwhile, up top, MJW initiated on. Lust will be nearby, throws out a Poison Touch onto AA, and that'll create enough space for Timbersaw to survive. Arrow went flying through, but was off the mark.
Thinking about support more and how much of an impact she can have this game. It's difficult for her to arrow mid if it's a Quas Exort Invoker, because he can always have his 4 spirits like positioned to the top left of him. He should be reasonably safe from that. Timber is not terribly easy to kill too, especially with a Dazzle over there. So curious to see how she's gonna work out.
Yep. So far, just stacking and pulling in the jungle. Mid lane going pretty well for the Brewmaster. Beating MSS in last hits out of the gate here. IX Mike, whoa, could be in a little bit of trouble. The scream from SNA. Squishing him up. Only level 1 on the Venge. No stun yet, but this Void getting some decent farm out of the gate here, Merlini.
Yep. Both offlaners doing okay, I suppose. It looks like, yeah, eHug's getting the better end of the stick with the Timber able to bully the Spectre a lot more. This is a pretty difficult matchup for the Spectre. I can't really think of that many melee heroes that actually do well versus the Timbersaw in the safe lane farming, especially in a 3-on-2 situation. 3-on-1, sure, you can get zoned out, but with Dazzle just sitting over there, it's not all easy.
Yeah. It's not all easy. Yep. Forcing Lust to skill Poison Touch level 1 is maybe a minor victory here. He's not getting a huge amount of experience in this lane, so if they try to man up, you know, level 1 Poison Touch isn't quite that scary. So he'll probably grab Grave coming up here soon. Might just hold this level 2 skill point. MJW getting some solid farm on the Timbersaw, and they're going to need him to do a lot of damage. This is one of these games where even if Void goes for some carry items, I think he's still going to need to get an Ag items at some point. This just strikes me as a good Ags game.
It depends on what they want to do. I wouldn't say that they're that pressure to go early or late with Bags. Mike getting stunned up.
Yeah, here we go. Sunstrike will fly through, connects. This could very well be your first blood. The double edge finds a return kill out of it. Faceless Void goes down to the tower. Centaur gets credit, and that will at least make it a 1-for-1, but obvious advantage for eHug here, as SNA was the one to pick up that bonus gold.
Man, imagine if that Sunstrike didn't hit. That would have just been a train wreck.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say the pressure's on eHug. though, because they have an Exort Invoker. Usually they go Midas, and they have Timbersaw also, who scales really well into the late if you get like Shivas and Blink and Ags and whatnot. So I wouldn't say that they necessarily have the pressure that you normally feel versus the Spectre, which is a really good position for them to be in. You never want to be like, okay, if we don't win by 30 or 35 or take a Rax, then we're going to lose. It's a really bad mentality when your lineup is drafted like that.
Yeah, Fire's kind of on the other side of that fence where there's a lot of pressure on Ush to make this happen. I guess TC will be able to create some space. Based on his CS, he should have a decently timed blink, but looks like Fire getting aggressive here onto Lust. As the Spectre pops forward, as we're looking at this, there's a kill that happens in the bottom lane. Looks like Invoker will get credit for that one with a Sunstrike. So 2-1, pretty good for eHug as Invoker gets another one under his belt. We'll get MSS a good bit closer to his Hand of Midas.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing pretty well.
Yeah. And Vengeful Suicide into Roche here.
He has higher CS than Brew, which is a little surprising. Brew's one of those heroes that you almost never expect to lose CS except for Razor.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen TC recently. I don't know if he's a little out of shape or... Oh, yeah, here you go. Rotate over IX Mike. Leaves the lane. He's actually almost level 5. Even though Mike's died twice now, he's still gotten some decent experience. He'll have Fluff joining him. Maybe they can find an arrow. Would be a pretty easy kill on this Void. He did pick up the Orb of Venom. Poor Mike, not going to be able to easily run away. And I don't know how this is going to work out here. Yeah, hits him with a double edge, but... We'll see if Fluff can find the angle. SN with pretty good positioning. Yeah, not making things easy for Fluff here.
It's a pretty small window. The next creep wave is about to come, so he needs to shoot it in like the next 5 seconds maybe. Else it's going to be really difficult. Yeah, especially with how he's positioned. He's not close to the top 3 line, which is really important for him.
Yeah, this is just not an easy spot to throw an arrow. And any angle is going to be very one-dimensional here, not really the direction that SN wants to run. Some support from SNA. He's on his way over. Mike in an awkward position in the lane now. They've got some vision. They'll hit him with a hoof stomp. There's the arrow setup they were looking for. Double edge secures the kill as Vengeful Spirit walks into the wrong part of town. Sunstrike up top. Almost catches Ush, but he'll be okay as he salves. Or will he? Gets blown up by the Timbersaw as he Timber Chain whirling deaths forward. Nicely done. Ties it up 3-3.
Nice scout by Venge. I think they saw that something was fishy because Centaur was taking creeps behind the tower, and IX Mike usually is not that aggressive of a player, so they probably knew that someone was around there.
Primal split, used mid on the MSS. Arrow from over the tree line will connect after the boulder, but Lust is there with a shallow grave. Tornado isolates the Invoker. Now SNA stuns on Fluff. Another boulder flies through an MSS. Don't think he's going to survive this one. Pandas, can they finish him off? Lust throwing out enough heals to keep him alive. TC just wants that one last crit and he gets it, but not before getting cold snapped. Now SNA and Lust trying to find the return kill, and it looks like they'll be successful as Dazzle does get credit for it. So a 1-for-1, both mid laners get taken out.
It's really big for the supports that they got the experience. Did Invoker manage to purchase anything before he died?
Looks like it. Well, he doesn't have any gold, so he's got a Midas recipe on the courier. So I don't know if he bought that right before he died there, but he's got that big item secured.
And you can already see the difficulty that Brewmaster may face. Like, if he doesn't have a haste there, he doesn't even get the kill on Invoker.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Could see another little skirmish break out down bottom here. Fluff leaps to the low ground as SNA is threatening with a magic missile. Instead just settles for a wave of terror. And that'll be the end of it. As Void just continues to rank up the last hits here. Doing quite well in this side lane. 7-8 last hits up on the Spectre.
Blink Dagger status?
Radiant's middle tower
1200 on the Centaur, 1700 on the Brewmaster.
Man, that's a big sack taken out by Timber. He is doing very well in this offlane.
Yeah, MJW's got, wow, Arcane Boots and 800 gold already.
And he's level 6.
Oh, I hear Sunstrike. I don't know where it went, though. Missed that one. So Mike, he's just moved into the jungle. He's at least found his level 6 now, and his priority is get the Blink Dagger. Bottom lane, not going to be able to farm safely. His ward is expired down here, so they've got another one in the entryway to the jungle. But, yeah, just securing that farm for now. No ancient stacks. Neither team really living in Ancientville.
Yeah, TC's going for the max crit build. I would say it's a little bit more standard to get more stats, or at least one in Drunken Haze, especially versus almost pure right clicker like the Faceless Void.
We're gonna need you to speak up here, Merlini.
I am speaking up, dude.
You're mumbling like a little schoolgirl. You are mumbling. You need some caffeine, sir.
I am
I'm
speaking.
gonna have to get up and turn you up again if you don't turn this around, mister. Nobody wants me to get up. So then you're gonna have to control the camera. Whose idea was it to put the soundboard on the other side of the ring? 4-4. Pretty slow early game. eHug with a small advantage out of the gate, but everyone happy just sitting back getting their initial farm roll. And how's Spectre doing? He did go the Urn build. So there you go. Ush. Looking to fight a little bit, I guess. SNA. Uh-oh, he's in some trouble. Primal Split used. Boulder hits him, and yeah, nowhere for the Vengeful Spirit to go as he gets surrounded. SN, I think he'll be fine here. No support nearby. Just going to get burned down as he gets set on fire. Purged and stunned, and what a rough life for the Void. Well, that gives TC his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I don't know. He's still not getting that much out of his ultimates, though. One support and Invoker after defeating his life. Oh no, he missed the chain.
Uh-oh. JW may still be all right. There's some turnaround potential here. Sunstrike flies through, doesn't do much. Timbersaw ends up going down. Now the Stampede to reinitiate. They go on to Lust, and the ultimate from Spectre used to secure the kill. Dazzle gets brought down. SNA still standing his ground for now. It's a quick 2-0. Fire will be happy with their spoils, and they will retreat after that.
That was a terrible display of skill from eHug. He missed a chain. He missed his Whirling Death. Dazzle didn't have enough mana for Grave. He mismanaged it, and then Sunstrike also missed by eHug. So that was just terrible team coordination, and the fight could have gone a lot better. I think they could have gotten at least a kill in the AA.
And that was even without a Primal Split available, so... Good stuff for Fire. Gives Mike a little space in the bottom to work towards that Blink Dagger. Now only about 200 gold away, and contributing quite a bit with his Stampede. Ooh, top lane. And JW trying to get aggressive onto Ush, but not going to be able to find anything. Ush now picks up a Bracer. So is he even going to go Radiance here? I mean, how long do you delay the Radiance before you just abandon and look towards other fighting items?
Well, it's not so bad for him. It's not like he's struggling, right? He's just trying to secure his mid-game by going early game items instead of potentially having a bad mid-game by saving it for a Radiance and playing greedily. eHug wants to fight early. They have heroes that always will and can. It's not like they have an anti-mage or something where you don't expect to be pressured. So they definitely don't want to lose their T1s, and I think it's an okay choice for him to go a fighting build as opposed to a Radiance rush, especially with the Timber in his lane. Like, if he doesn't get any sort of early items, Timber's just going to send him back home every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. And Timber's gone for the very mobile build here, maxing out the Timber chain, and it's only 1 point in the Whirling Death, but these next couple levels, his damage output's increased by a good little bit here. Smoke picked up by the Centaur as IX Mike grabs his Blink Dagger back at home, and up top, Initiation coming out onto Ush. They'll have more than enough damage to bring him down as even the Sunstrike flies through. SNA might shatter here, but look at that. Shallow Grave keeps him safe. He TP's out, and close call, but SNA barely lives.
Wow, that Grave like almost...
Yeah, that was pretty damn close. So, nice gank from eHug, though. They just run in, gangbang the Spectre, and then peace out of there.
What build does Spectre go for? Item or skill build? 2-4-1. Ugh.
That is very aggressive.
The Spectre build. He's versus a Timbersaw, so I don't think he should be getting 4 points in Desolate, especially one that's max Timber Chain. I think you need the higher mobility or the higher mitigation from the dispersion.
Yeah. Well, now TC, Primal Split ready, has an invisibility rune, looking for blood. We'll scout out the Faceless Void, and maybe he'll find the Vengeful Spirit in the lane. Indeed he will as he pokes his head forward. He's got a Centaur and a Marana nearby, so there is some pretty serious kill potential here. No Stampede for another 25, but let's see if they actually go for it. They can definitely make some magic happen. Maybe they can blow up the Dazzle before he can even get off the Grave. In comes Mike. Swap out from SNA. And Ice Blast will connect on all three. There's the Chronosphere. Traps in the spirits from the Primal Split, but Lust still burning down. Will not be able to get off the Shallow Grave. He's the first casualty. Marana gets picked off by the Timbersaw around the side. Spectre wants to finish off SNA. One more auto attack will do it. That makes it a 2-for-1, and it's not over yet. eHug now on the run. MSS actually sets up a counter kill onto the Centaurs. MJW just comes flying through. TC goes right back in. The big clap hits on the Invoker. Ush trying to go blow for blow with MJW, just barely lives as he specters over the trees. Spectral daggers, I mean. And Ush will TP out. So a close call, but will live. Ends as a 2-for-3 trade. Team Fire coming out ahead.
He specters over the trees.
He specters over the trees with that spectral dagger of his.
Invoker that guy.
He just, spectered him down. Oh, MJW hanging around a bit too long. Short on mana. Timber chains aggressively as he has a TP on his way in. They won't be able to find any kills, but boy, that Timbersaw did a lot of damage that last fight. Faceless Void also died in the well to the Ancient Apparition, so it looks like Fogg was able to clip him there with the sniper rifle.
Both safe laners are just getting massively pressured
Dire's
too.
middle
A lot of it
tower
has
is
to do
under
with
attack.
TC's very nice roaming, but oh no, SNA gonna take a spill here. But I think a lot of the setup for the panic kills is actually because Invoker hasn't been controlling the runes very well, and at least if he scouts it out with the Forge Spirit, then they can be prepared for an invisibility rune, maybe set up a bait with the Sentry Ward or something like that. But they really have no idea where this Brewmaster is a lot of the time. They don't really have any ward vision out, so it's a combined effort from their
Radiant
supports
structures
and
are fortified.
really has led this
Radiant's
to get out
bottom
of control.
tower is under attack.
And TC is certainly that. 4-1-1. He is tied for the highest level in the game with the Invoker, but don't forget the Invoker does have a hand of Midas. Look at the tier 1 tower down bottom. Smike, IX Mike uses the Stampede, and it is up top to try and keep Fogg safe. MJW continuing to pursue. Fogg in a lot of trouble. Will not be able to survive as he gets cut in half by the chainsaw of Mr. Timber. Now the Haunt used by Spectre. He will head towards the top lane. Lust gives him the Shallow Grave before trying to TP home. TC joining the party, hits him with a Drunken Haze, has a blink up and about 7. But closing the gap here against this Timbersaw. Going to be tricky, and they will just let him go.
Yeah, I personally don't really like the Urn build that much. I think that 900 gold is a lot to invest for an item like that.
Yeah, I mean, he would be pretty damn close to that relic by now, and he hasn't really gotten too much out of it. At least it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I think like massing bracers is okay, or drums, I think, is much better alternative than Urn on him. Especially when someone like AA is such a fantastic Urn carrier.
Well, TC going for the Vlad's Offering is his next big item on the brew. Mike's still trying to save up that gold. Fluff playing
Radiant's
the sacrificial support here, and Fogged, he's going the Hand of Midas route. Has the recipe picked up and just trying to get enough to grab the gloves. And Ush at 2,400 gold. How's the item progression happening on the Radiant side? MSS, now he's picked up the Force Staff. And SN, he's going to grab just Mask of Madness, trying to put out some damage. No farm accelerators, no Aghanim Scepter quite yet. SN just kind of farming in the middle of the pack and soon to get knocked down a rung if they actually go for this gank. Fluff and Mike smoked up. They'll find SNA once more. Mike comes walking in, gets stunned up, but Arrow will connect, and even Stampedes for this here as Void comes in. There's your Chronosphere. IX Mike in a lot of trouble. Sunstrike connects, and that'll be a turnaround the other way. Now Fluff forced to try and leap out to safety, but SNA's there with a swap, hits him with a missile. Still plenty of time left on the Marana ulti. Will reveal with a creep there, maybe trying to bait him out, but Void just TP's home. That'll be the end of it.
Dire's middle tower
Void
is
should
under
probably go
attack.
for Maelstrom and a BKB. He needs more damage, but at the same time, he needs to survive all this magic damage from fire he's been putting out, especially with the Radiance probably coming out in the next 6 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Battle Fury is just asking is just too greedy. Maelstrom's much cheaper alternative.
Yep, synergizes well with the attack speed from the Mask of Madness also. But Fogged will complete his Midas, 17 minutes, pretty good for an Ancient Apparition, just trying to scrape by with his pennies until he can get that big economic investment. That's pretty good stuff there.
Neither team playing really like confidently, I would say. Like they're like pussyfooting around the map a lot. They're like a lot of ultimates and spells have just been a miss. So I guess it stands to reason why they should be playing not very confidently. But That's like a thing with the AA too. Him going Midas is like, okay, well, we probably don't have this late game, so I need to get a Scepter. And same with Spectre.
Here we go. They hop forward and they use the Primal Split for this. Ultimate from the Ancient Apparition flies through. Will connect on a couple. MJW gets stunned up. Vengeful Spirit and the Timbersaw both go down right away. Now MSS on the run. Goes into Ghost Walk, but do they have any detection? They've got a Sentry. They find him. It's a dead Invoker, and that's a fast 3-0. They get the tower out of it. And Team Fire with a huge burst of momentum coming off the tail end of that fight.
That pretty much secures his Radiance. So
yeah, there's the Relic. He'll have it in about 70 gold as they head right for the Roche Pit. They know what they want. It's the big guy with the Santa hat.
And again, no vision out from eHug. If you look on the map, there's really just the one on the Radiant Jungle. And they've been playing so blind, and it's really difficult for the Void to get any sort of farm in this sort of environment. And it's just prime game for Brewmaster to just do whatever he wants. So yeah, Relic up now, and eHug, they know that they can't take a fight for a while. They have to get just jumps on people with Chronosphere and just Sunstrike, and then bounce out, or get Timbersaw to create a lot of pressure on the map and hope that he doesn't die to a Blink Initiate from Centaur. And just
Radiant's
keep
top tower
fire
is under
in check.
attack.
But in terms of straight 5-on-5s and pushing towers in a concerted effort, just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Forge Spirits to help them push a little bit, but not a really strong pushing lineup. They've gotten one tower kill. It was just denied by the Centaur, so that kind of speaks to their map control. Glancing at the Golden Experience graphs, about 4,000 gold, 1,500 experience going the way of Fire. And here's a smoke rotation from eHug. They want to get aggressive here. Will this be successful, though, is another question altogether. 15 seconds on the Brewmaster split. In comes SN, delays a little bit, but does catch Ush inside of the Chrono. There's your Sunstrike, and you have plenty of damage to follow up. Moonlight Shadow and Stampede used as TC goes in. Ice Blast from downtown connects, forces a Shatter on the Faceless Void. Now the rest of Fire on their way in, but eHug already in retreat. And they will survive. So core for core, not too bad. Maybe slightly better for eHug, but Spectre had already picked up his Relic, so minimal damage done.
Yeah, it's a bad place for him to farm with it, but still, as long as he picked up his Relic, not that much economic damage can be done. I guess I have seen those games where the dude picks up the Relic and then he dies like 3 times consecutively, but I doubt that'll happen to Ush. They'll be looking to take fights with Panda Ultimate.
Yeah. Alright, Fluff, Invisibility Rune online. He'll rotate up top. Looks like MJW might be the target they have in their sights. Timbersaw has picked up his Bloodstone. So a little tankier, but now they're not even going to go for it. Fluff just doubles back, and well, maybe they'll bump into him here. They're sort of trying to be aggressive. NJW is their big damage dealer on the Radiant side. He's not even farming that crazy out of control. He's just Timbersaw being Timbersaw. Primal Split used will interrupt the TP out. Now he's on the run. Arrow will connect, and this should secure the kill. Indeed it does. And Fire get another one up on the scoreboard, making it 17-10.
I think if anyone's supposed to die, it should probably be the Timbersaw. Like, the supports can't really do it, get anything accomplished. It's not like they can just split push lanes. So Timbersaw is the one that can actually split push lanes, actually still get farm and die at the same time. And now that he's Bloodstone, whatever, he's already up. They can't afford to have this Invoker and Faceless Void die anymore.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, we'll see. Another fight might get forced out. Void's ultimate up in just a second here. Tier 1 tower taking some damage as TC hops in. No Primal Split. He'll get stunned. Sunstrike secures it. But the Vengeful Spirit does die to make it happen. SN uses the ultimate now onto Fogged. Arrow comes in. Will stop him dead in his tracks. That won't stop the Chakram. Fog not going to live. A 1 for 2 as eHug do make a successful hold and utilize a very nice Faceless Void ultimate.
That was a great earn usage by eHug there into the swap, and TC with no split is a dead brew.
Yeah. Yeah, an odd time for Fire to kind of take a fight there. They had the Haunt from Spectre, which Ush used, but without the Primal Split, just not when you really want to be forcing those engagements.
I think they just underestimated Timber's spawn timer. I'm not sure if they saw the Bloodstone or not, but yeah, that was very aggressive. When you use a Brewmaster split like that, you have to be wary of any sort of major skirmish.
Yeah. All right, just a quick pause. We've been graced by the Dota gods today, Merlini. So far, we still have a lot of Dota to get through, but hopefully these servers hold out, as they have been rather poopy recently. Necronomicon level 1 picked up on the Invoker, so his farm is getting a little bit better. Still not besting TC, who is sitting comfortably at the top of the net worth chart, working towards his Assault Kuros.
Fire has not been really taking advantage of the Moonlight Shadow either. You can tell that eHug's not really that scared of the Moonlight Shadow. They don't have that many sentries around the map. They're still farming out like pretty darn far out. So I think that's another tool in Fire's arsenal that they haven't really been taking advantage of. And they can even bait out the Spectre. They can get ganks on Invoker or Faceless Void a lot more easily with it. And it's not going to be that effective once eHug gets their Necro 3.
Yeah. Well, Ush now has his Radiance about 22 minutes in. Still a solid timing, given he went all these other items as a precursor. So now the farm can really start to skyrocket, sitting pretty at number 3 on overall net worth. And, of course, now a lot more damage output. SNA stuns up on Fluff. Out comes the Sunstrike. It's a quick pick there, but TC comes in, tries to turn it around. SNA will pay the price, and they trade support for the support. The difference is Ush gets that second kill on the Venge and adds a little bit more money to that savings account.
Fire needs to do Roche like pretty darn soon. If they get Roche on Ush, taking a Spectre down twice is going to be usually like a 4 or 5 hero death for eHug. So if they can use that Spectre ultimate, bully probably the T1 tower and T2, I think they'd be in a really good position to do so, especially when eHug can sneak it in with a Necro 3. Invoker can solo it later, whereas Fire, they're going to need at least 2 heroes with Brew and Spectre, and then probably another more for damage, or else they won't have any.
Centaur scouting out the Invoker here as he's farming up neutrals. Not going to go for it. Instead, they're going to look towards Fogged. He gets a ward down. TP's out, though. I'm sure they're skeptical about what he was doing over there. Usually not in enemy territory like that unless you're putting wards down. And, yep, there it is. SNA will throw down the sentry, and all of Fogg's hard work will go by the wayside there. Well, not all of it, I guess. He gets a ward down in the middle of the jungle, but his plateau efforts will be thwarted unless SNA... Oh, man, gets both his sentry, or both of his observers. How unfortunate. Poor Fogged. TC working on his Assault Kuros, not that far away, about a Hyperstone to go. And Ush, he's just gone ahead and picked up the casual Vit booster for now.
He definitely needs more survivability.
Yep.
But, I mean, even with a Vid booster, he's still going to die in a single chrono, unless there's like a, arrow and a drunken haze to follow. But still more likely than not, he's going to get caught by chrono.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dire's
He's just going to tank up if he'll go for a defusal where he goes from here, but...
I mean, Manta's by far the most standard build. It's synergizes really well with Radiance.
Straight Manta,
gives him boost speed, gives him HP. It's just everything that you need.
Yep, you're right about that.
Tower is
Level
under
2 Necronomicon now out on the Invoker. And Centaur, what did Mike end up doing? 4 staff now into what looks like a BKB. Or possibly a Halberd, but probably the BKB. And that Midas on Fog starting to pay off here. Just 2 pieces away from that Aghanims.
Radiant really needs a pipe versus the ultimate of AA and Spectre. If they don't, the supports are just going to die. I don't think they're going to be able to get those Scepters.
Yeah, I mean, now they've got the level 3 Necro book on Invoker, so at least eHug have some additional pushing power. You know, you can get in those points in Wex, throw out that Alacrity. It does help pushing if you put it on the Warrior in particular. He already attacks pretty fast. They will go into the Tier 1 down bottom. Double damage onto TC as Ice Blast flies through, squishes up the creeps, and he'll just get the easy deny on the tower. And maybe consider cleaning up these Necro units. Whoa, SN hops in, grabs it with the Chrono. Sunstrike will fall through, and TC will go down to get this one started. Now on the back end, Mike going in deep. They want MSS, and Ush very well may find it. Lust used the Shallow Grave on himself. Ush just finds an easy kill there as SN tries to get aggressive on Ush. Not going to have the damage. Ush barely lives through the poison with about 20 hit points to spare, and now they bring down the Void. That's a 1-for-4 trade as Team Fire, they weren't even the instigators there. Make it happen.
Was Timber even there?
No, he was not.
That's strange.
That's unfortunate. They need him, dude. They need his damage output. I mean, that's a big net worth change going the way of the Dire, and they get the deny on the tower.
I actually think they need his tankiness more than his damage. It's just imperative that they don't get like good ultimates off Spectre. Just can't run rampant in your back lines too, like that. He's supposed to be a little bit scared of dying. I mean, you can tell by his item build that he's a little bit scared of dying, but if he doesn't, then he just goes ham on Invoker. Invoker is... I mean, here he uses Necro 3, so it's not that big of a deal, but he's going to need like a Hex later to deal with potential BKBs and just to scale a lot quicker than he is now. I'm not feeling eHug right now. Fire
Me neither.
Just doing a lot better, and
it's like eHug are farming okay. They're not that far behind on numbers, but it's just the way that they're moving around the map and kind of the confidence they're showing. They just
their supports are going to be irrelevant coming up very soon, and Weave is generally very good, but with Fire's lineup, there's not that much physical damage. A little bit from Brute, a little bit from Spectre, but the majority is going to be magical.
This is a big rotation up here for IX Mike, and he's just going to stampede out, give his allies that movement speed buff. Maybe they can get here a bit sooner. Thinking about it, but they will just about face and head back to safety. They rendezvous for a smoke, and maybe they'll be the ones to get aggressive now. Fogged only 1,000 gold off that Aghanim Scepter, and
it's very strange that he doesn't buy his point booster over the Blade. But
yeah, that is weird.
As long as he gets his eggs, not a big loss. So imagine if they had a pipe on that fight down bottom. It would have been huge. Spectre would have died. Or at least 4 of them wouldn't have died at that point when Spectre went in. Spectre forced them to play a lot more defensively.
Ooh, SN gets caught out by Mike. Arrow to follow up, and Fog just bursts him down with an ice blast in the face. Now 200 to boot. And that will be an Aghanim Scepter, and I just don't know how eHug is going to deal with it. Like you mentioned, no pipe, and it just counters a lot of the effectiveness of the Dazzle. I think without the Ags, you can kind of heal around the DOT from Ice Blast, but once it gets buffed up to 17 seconds, you just can't. It's too much time. With that fire move into the Roche pit, and looks like it will be an uncontested Roche with no Void. They can feel pretty safe here. BKB just around the corner for IX Mike, and I'm pretty sure they'll give the Aegis to Gold Usher, who's got already 2,500 gold. Up top, Fog, Cold Snap, Mana Burn, no mana for the Leap. And he will be the Sacrificial Lamb, as will their Tier 2 tower up top. As Fire do take out that Roche. Now they head back to defend. They will use a Glyph here. In comes TC. Primal Split after the clap goes right on to MJW. He'll try to make the escape. Tower does get destroyed by MSS. Stampede from Mike will help close the gap. MJW so elusive to have that Invoker up in the Tornado. He'll come down to Earth, has a Cold Snap, tries to buy some space for his Timbersaw buddy, but it's not going to happen. Thrown into another Cyclone. Mike getting poked by Lust as he comes in, throwing a couple of heal bombs here and there. MSS in ghost form, shoots out a dagger, hoping to find it. There's a Radiant Sentry Ward down, but not a Dire, and the Ghost Walk will be enough to keep the Invoker alive.
Man, that was so close. The Timber, again, this is his last Timber chain. He hit that Centaur dice too.
Yeah.
And he potentially makes an escape.
Well, once again, it's Fire coming out ahead, and they're going to grab the biggest lead we've seen this game. About 5,000 gold, 6,000 experience, give or take. Yeah, closer to 7,500, I reckon. As now the Heart of Tarrasque completed for Ush on the Spectre, still with the Aegis of the Immortal in tow. All of a sudden, he is one beefcake.
Honestly, they can push with this Heart, though, while the Aegis is still in his inventory. But they don't have that long to do so. And maybe they want to wait for Brewmaster Ultimate too, so...
They've got still a pretty... I mean, they took that fight right after Roche, so they've still got at least a couple of minutes here on that Aegis.
Well, in terms of lane pressure too. Like, their lanes aren't pushed out, they have to wait for like a good opportunity to do so. They don't want to force it prematurely like they did last time on the T1 tower.
Yeah.
So when the stars align, it will be a small window.
Now BKB now out on the Centaur, but right around the same time that Void gets his. So SN did take heed to your advice here. Maelstrom into BKB after the mask.
Well, it's not like I was making any leaps there.
Yeah.
Maelstrom BKB, but it does work well here.
We'll see if it's enough. It's eHug they're gonna have to turn up the juice at some point. Ice Blast flying in. Void. Yeah, it just tickles him. And the Assault Karas now up on the Brew. So all these big items starting to get completed here. Fogged with his Ags, and it's all starting to come together. Radiant side, yeah, they've got some core items, but still the overarching strategy is still kind of eluding me.
Get mass BKBs. That's one way to deal with Brewmaster Ultimate.
Yep. Okay, I can see that. BKBs and pipe. Alright, SN needs a second here. Is anyone working on a pipe on the Radiant?
I don't think so.
Nope. The anti-pipe boys.
I guess it would only be reasonably Timbersaw and Dazzle that can pick one up. Dazzle Force is decent here. It's good versus Potomero, good versus Centaur Initiate, but usually he won't be up there enough, and I think even with those items, he's still going to die to a Spectre and AA. Well, like, even just a Spectre, I would say, would kill him at this point. Not just purely from the ultimate, but like 1 or 2 right clicks post Haunt will be enough to bring him down. And MJW, the Blink Dagger is nice for initiating, but they don't lack initiate. Like, he can just run up and, you know, spam his spells, and it'll probably serve the same effect. I think having the pipe before, I don't know. BKB's really necessary for him, but he needs. His teammates are still going to die. It's going to be like a 3-on-5 in fights.
I think he's the only one that can afford to get the pipe. Everyone else is just not going to be able to farm it at any reasonable rate.
But yeah, if they have they have 2 BKBs. What's Invoker going for? Is he going for BKB too?
Hard to say. 3,700.
Yeah, I mean, if they have 3 BKBs, it'll just be like, okay, you guys, it's nice that you guys survived the Spectre ultimate, but what about the rest of us? And then it's just going to be them running away. That's how I foresee the fights going, especially with Spectre going for a heart. Are they really going to be able to burst them down with a BKB?
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Maybe if they
attack.
hit all their spells with like a Meteor Blast and a Sunstrike.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That's a lot of effective HP with the disposal.
Yeah, and then you still got the Panda and the Centaur there that are doing some damage and making things difficult. There's the BKB on the Invoker, so yeah, you're right. The trio of BKBs have been completed for eHug. Invokers is on the way out right now. Well, Fire positioning a little more aggressively at least. Ush farming by his lonesome. Haunt at the ready here. Still about a minute left on the Aegis, I think. Fluff hiding in the tree line will reveal their smoke. Oh no! They have no vision though. Dire. Wow. Big play from Fluff, and he can't even see it. All right, well, stops the smoke dead in its tracks. eHug won't be able to get the wraparound initiation they were hoping for, and now they will just turtle up around the tower. And Fire seem a little concerned about the right way to initiate this.
Run in with Spectre. If he sells Aegis, it's by far the easiest way to win the fight.
They've got about 30 seconds left.
He's just run in and just beat on the tower. If he gets swapped in, who cares? Just initiate with Ice Blast and then just go from there. They're playing way too cautiously. If they play too cautiously, the Aegis is going to expire and they won't get anything.
Well, it seems to be a likely scenario at this point.
Yeah, they're going to be cutting it like real close.
Any second, right as the fight breaks out, perhaps. MJW comes in, and they will just Moonlight Shadow away.
I still don't understand why he's so scared. If they have to promo him, they immediately win the fight. But
yeah, I don't know. Both teams not really playing with confidence here. It's something you pointed out earlier on and pretty apparent in that little skirmish. So Aegis expires, now a pretty long window before the next Roche will come up, and eHug, they'll smoke once more. They want to take advantage of this. Big timing window. They see Fluff in the mid. They know Moonlight Shadow is down also. But they will just keep smoking over.
Yeah, you know Blink's broken when a hero like Mirana gets Blink too.
Yeah. Oh, they jump onto Fluff, and they'll find him. Easy kill there. So smoke for the position 5 Mirana. It's never a bad thing to get a kill, but not really that game-breaking. What did eHug do off of it, though?
You can tell that they didn't really prepare that much for the late game, or else Void would have gotten a Midas, too.
Yeah,
but
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The way the game is going, eHug definitely feels
Radiant's
the
top tower is under attack.
They have to get stuff
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Butterfly Heart or Butterfly Manta.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Insanely difficult to kill. And also their BKBs going late game are gonna progressively get worse. Whereas Fire, they don't really need BKBs. They just need mitigation and tankiness. They don't really need the magic immunity. They just need to be able to survive Void's burst. Somebody's probably going to die to Invoker combo, and then just weather the storm after that.
Yeah.
So
Ush goes ahead and picks up a Diffusal Blade as his next item after Heart, so getting a little damage, some extra utility. Not too surprising. So eHug did manage to get the Tier 2 tower mid, taking out those access points. There is actually only one outer tower remaining for Fire, this Tier 2 down in the bottom.
I don't think he needs Diffusal. There's no Ghost Scepters out, right? I'm pretty sure there are.
Nope, no Ghost
Yeah,
Scepters.
there's not really anything to purge. So, I mean, I guess maybe he wants to like catch people out, but that's what Centaur's there for.
Yeah. I mean, it is just a useful tool in, you know, using the purge to secure kills with the slow. Centaur doesn't connect with his stuns or something, I don't know. That's a cute little bit of damage.
It's alright. Butterfly, I think, is just superior.
Yeah.
It's
Also
it helps you
more
farm
costly.
way faster. Yeah, it's well, you want bigger items though, because you're going to be taking this late. Don't
Yeah.
wanna clutter your inventory with 3,000 gold items.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure what he got. I'm like, is there anything that he can purge off here?
I think it's probably just a standard build that he goes
Yeah.
very often and then just doesn't deviate when the situation arises. Like even a BKB I think would be better than Diffusal. I don't know. I'm not Diffusal.
Alright, here you go. This is Dire Vision we're looking at. As MJW hops in. Chrono onto Ush, just barely clips him. But
it pushed him out.
they won't go for it. That was weird. Oh, because he was right on the edge of the cliff there. Okay. Yeah, that was funky. So he'll be all right. They almost get the counter kill onto MSS. He'll be able to TP away, and so will the Timbersaw down bottom. Wow. That was awkward. So that was like the Chrono. He was like kind of right here on the edge, and then when he got Chronoed, it kind of popped him right on the top of the edge. Is that what happened?
His Spectral Dagger buff faded.
Oh, right as the... Okay, that's... Wow.
Can't be on impassable terrain.
That's lucky.
I don't think it would have mattered though. Really, how are they gonna engage up there? They have to like path up the hill, and then I think actually if they went on that, they would have lost the fight too. It just sets up for a beautiful AA ultimate. That's one of the best places for Dire to fight. Is like up there.
Radiant's middle tower.
Double damage rune on Ush. They'll find Sna as TC hops forward. One or two more on it. Do it, and the arrow from downtown finds him. Oh, the Vengeful Spirit. Slain like a chicken roast as Marana hits him with the arrow. Now Fire will just move into this tier 2 tower. Radiant do have a glyph, but they may want to save it for the high ground. Not sure if that's what Fire have in mind, but they could make a go at it.
Wait for Roche. Do Aegis. Play it safe. You get neither of these teams are like supremely confident, so they're not going to take risks that have a slight chance of failing. Or I would actually say like a decent chance of failing.
Yeah. Roche very close to the max timer. They've still got another minute and a third before they'll have access to the next Aegis. And Timbersaw, he's still hanging on to a gem. That's nice. BKB almost out on the Brewmaster, just working on that recipe. Fog with 1,500 gold, still just pulling it up. You mentioned
What does Invoker have?
the
He's
blink
the
on Marana. He's the big one here. Yeah, still just pulling up that gold. Hasn't bought anything since the
like
BKB.
if he gets a Hex, things can be a lot different. He can kill really quickly. If he doesn't get a Hex, then I don't really know what better options there are. I guess maybe like a BOT to split push or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think his build really dictate. His build is the one that can actually differ, whereas Timbersaw's going to go tank, Faceless Void is going to go damage. I don't think he's going to go Scepter.
There is a set of BOTs up on the Timbersaw already. He's been doing a little bit of split pushing here and there. Now Ush will go back for the Manta. So it goes Diffusal first, now into the Yasha, and I just wanted to make sure his illusions could mana burn before he spawned them into existence.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't used Diffusal at all. You could already have a Manta by now. I'm a hater on the build.
Yeah.
I don't see reason for a lot of it. But pressing onwards.
Up top, Mike. Wow, really low on health. Just blinked into the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess. Moonlight Shadow Stampede to survive. He's got a Reaver. So he's going Heart, tanking up like the beast he is.
That's the right build for
bottom
them. They just need to
tower is under
survive
attack.
Chronosphere, and then after that, everything will fall into place. I guess Chronosphere plus
Yeah. Void now picks up a Demon Edge. Maybe a preemptive MKB, assuming that the Spectre will go for Butterfly at some point. Or just Daedalus, hard to say. Either or, big damage dealing item as eHug Rendezvous for yet another smoke. They don't have their Invoker with them.
They're at half HP.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward here.
That was an awkward earn too.
Just look how much that's just like one Ice Blast on Rust. That's how much damage it does to him. It's gross. Well, they're thinking about Ush, but he'll micro his way into the trees. He'll be A-OK. And now the BKB picked up on the brew. So feels like the recurring theme here for eHug has been failed smokes. Heard that Sunstrike, but oh, looks like going into the Roche pit. Okay, Roche is up. Radiant have absolutely no wards down right now. Dire at least have a couple. But this is Radiant Vision. They see nothing. They're probably a little skeptical, but will they even make a serious movement towards the pit? They're sort of slowly headed that way with one of their supports and some illusions, or no, those are Forged Spirits for MSS. So they are privy to it, but now that they know, what can they do? TP in from the Timbersaw. They'll go right to a Forged Spirit. Haunt used by the Spectre. He's going to try and track the Aegis here. BKB's used. Roche goes down to the Dire. Who gets the Aegis? Vengeful Spear actually goes down before the Aegis gets picked up. I don't know where it went. It gets snatched by the Void. There you go. Dire side not in great shape here, but the Primal Split does come out. Still only one kill so far as Ush on the high ground with MJW. Invoker dies. Will buy back. It's really the Timbersaw that they're after. Ush going to chase him into oblivion. He's caught by an AA ulti. Oh, just barely lives, but now the Radiance burn will click him down. There you go. Team Fire coming out way ahead. It still isn't quite over yet. SN on the run. Can Ix get there to close the gap? He's got a Force Staff, a blink in one. Nope, can't do it. Murana with an arrow. Connects on Lust from close range. TC with the clap crit. It's back-to-back crits on the Void to bring him down, and oh, it's just a disaster for eHug. Invoker with the Ice Path. Trying his hardest, Merlini, but Lust, he is certainly going to shatter as soon as that grave is done. Invoker could still survive, tries to force staff to the high ground, not going to make it. Sunstrike, going to tickle as Tornado does stop him dead in their path. SNA comes back, TPs to the tier 3 tower and just gets crit down. What a disastrous team fight. That was like, what, 1 for 6 or something? It's not going to update totally, but cheese and crackers.
Well, eHug had to go for a play like that because they were just getting out-farmed. They were not really pressuring anywhere on the map, and they didn't really have any control. So they went for a big play in the Roshan pit. They got the Aegis, and they obviously hoped for more, but they fell short. They were a little too far behind in terms of control, farm. They really needed like Hex, I would say, second Green Master Ultimate, and then a pipe to stop the damage from AA and Spectre. But without any of those tools,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, Spectre really hasn't been that close.
Radiant's
to
bottom tower
since
has fallen
too. So that's also a major cause for concern.
Yeah, definitely. They'll get that tier 2 tower killed in the bottom lane. Mid, they clear out the barracks, and now 34-16. Fire are vastly in the lead. Look at that graph, just a downward spiral from that last team fight. About 15,000 gold, 20,000 experience. 2 buybacks were used in that last one. Was a dieback on the Dazzle, and the Invoker, I think, lived at the end for his second life, but still died once and bought back. So there were a lot of resources expended just to try and take a hold there, and only to still lose in mid lane of barracks. At this point, I feel like it is Fire's game to throw. Fog picks up a Force Staff with 2,300 gold. IX Micah's 3k. Brewmaster with 3k. I mean, they're all just so rich. Even Fluff on this Murana has 3,600 gold to spare.
I think eHug has to either draft better around the Brew next game or ban him out. Or just play better against him, too. They didn't really have any rune control and vision early to really stop his ultimates. And they just let him take too much control of the map when Spectre was already suffering. If Panda doesn't do well, then Spectre gets a really, really late Radiance timing, and then Spectre can actually, or sorry, the Faceless Void can actually kill people during a Chronosphere, but without any sort of, the Invoker pick also didn't really make that much sense to me. Sure, they got like First Blood with it, maybe another kill, but after that, they didn't really seem that great. I've seen Invoker actually work very well versus a Faceless Void. He just like Sunstrikes on top of the, target that's focused, and you take like 3/4 of your HP.
Yeah, it's absurd.
From that, and then also you have Deafening Blast and Tornado to kite them during the ultimate too, so he's forced to get an AKB very, very fast.
Yeah. Lust in some trouble, but just casually TPs out, leaves this disgusting black streak on the map here as Shallow Grave keeps the Dazzle safe one more, or does it? Gets sniped out in the well. Fogged with the sniper rifle, gets him.
Radiant's
so I say eHug goes back to the drawing board. Dazzle didn't really pan out either. I think Fire actually got it very well grounded though.
Oh, Mike almost takes a lot of damage, but gets the BKB off before most of it ensues. Meanwhile, Ush and TC in the bottom lane just pressuring the tier 3 with a bit of split push. Looks like they won't make it into the base until eHugger ready to defend. Long-range arrow hits MJW. It's a 5-second stun. Not sure that Fire really want to initiate off the back of that, but still a nice arrow. All right, in come the illusions. One's down, second one's down. Now Mike's coming in, finds SN. A lot of burst damage. Arrow will hit the Venge after a nice swap to keep the Void alive. Ice Blast flies through, secures the kill onto the Venge. Now Invoker stuck in the tornado like bruh. Uh-oh. Looks like he'll force staff back to the well. He'll be all right, but their base not going to be so lucky. No glyph for the Radiant. Tier 3 in the bottom goes down already. Now the barracks exposed. Will take heavy damage as Mike gets the stomp off on Timbersaw. Arrow flies through. Miranda secures that kill. SN with a delayed chrono. Sets up for a meatball to fly down, but the damage is just negligible. TC had his BKB on. They turn right onto SN. Void gets blown up. MSS force stabs back to the well. Lust gets left behind, and this should be GG. Yep, there it is. MJW, he calls it. Good game, well played, and Team Fire taking a dominant victory here in Game 1.
Yeah, go back to the drawing board for eHug, and I'm not really sure how they can overtake Fire. I mean, in this game, it was like early mid control by Brew, late game control by AA and Spectre, and eHug didn't really have a terribly great game plan to handle that. Maybe if it were Klaus Wegs Invoker, they could just stymie the Brewmaster in his tracks early. So, I don't know. It was just a lot of things not really firing for them too. Also, a lot of misspells early led to just terrible skirmishes. So, eHug, the morning wake-up game, the warm-up game.
The warm-up game, we'll see if they can bring it back. We're having a short break here, folks, and coming right back for game number 2.